congratulations on being inducted to the California Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Well, thank you very much. It's quite an honor. It's a true pleasure. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, and well deserved. What got you started in wrestling?
To be honest, my freshman football coach, who was also the head wrestling coach, walked out of practice with about 2 weeks to go in the season and said, all right, I'm going to name the following guys, and when you're done with practice today, you're going to come over and meet me, and I'm going to tell you what you're doing next. And there were about 10 of us that were selected, and he says, you guys don't have an option to do anything in the winter but wrestle, and the rest is history.
Wow. Did you use that philosophy in your career?
I tried very hard. I tried very hard, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I learned well. To get me started, of course, my high school coach was Drew Williams up at Menachie High School, who was the one that gave me no choice, and so he kind of laid the foundation. And then when I went to junior college, I had a coach named Darrell Williams who laid the foundation to move me to the next level. And then when I went to Cal State Fullerton, I had Don Matson. So, I had three very important people that laid different foundations, but were big impacts on my life as I went through, and allowed me to do what I do today. And that's a passion of mine, which is coach and teach wrestling. So they were the big influence on me. A hero. Well, I mean, when you go into the sport of wrestling, the heroes are the seniors. Fortunately at that time frame at Menachie, we were pretty good. Clovis was our arch rival, and we had some seniors who at that time you idolized, but as an overall picture, I would say at my time frame going through, Dan Gable was kind of the man, that's what you looked to. That was kind of what wrestling was. He was the poster man for the sport, and that's what you kind of said, wow, that's someday, but there's only one of those. I would say probably the most important one is hard work. The ability to understand that nothing's easy, and you have to work very hard at what you want to do, and you have a variety of personalities that you have to deal with, and you have to know how to meet the needs of all of them. And if you don't, you hire someone that can meet the needs of the ones that you don't meet well. I think I remember the losses more than I remember the wins. Those kind of stick in my mind, whether it's as a wrestler or as a coach. Those are the kind of things that you write. I mean, if you're telling me, I can almost tell you point blank what happened minute for minute compared to the wins, but there's always highlights, the first time you make the varsity as a freshman, going into the college wrestling room and getting your first takedown, having the opportunity to wrestle somebody like Joe Lopez up at Cal State Bakersfield, who's from your area, and you're down at Cal State Fullerton. I mean, those are memories of matches and things, but honest to goodness, the losses stick in my mind more than the wins do, because I learn from those, and they're just things you figure, what am I going to do to get better? Probably the most memorable is the first time you win a CIF championship. And then you kind of say, that's what I got to do time and time again. So I would say, in '94 when we won that very first title, both in the duels and, the CIF, and it was against some outstanding coaches at that time frame. That was probably one of the most memorable as a coaching thing. But I think, honest to goodness, every day really is a memorable day for me, because I get to deal with the young men, and hopefully I'm making memories for them. So, I look at it every day. That's the best part of my day, is going to practice. And I tell them that every day. I said, don't grow up and be an adult, because, they're not fun. The fun is coming with you guys who are the young men. That's the best, and it's the best part of my day. Yeah. I probably wouldn't change anything. I think maybe the one thing I might do, which at the time frame of when I was growing up really wasn't happening, started a little younger with my wrestling, but at that time frame that wasn't the case. Nobody did that, you kind of, when you went in as a freshman, that was really your first exposure to it. So that might be the one thing, but it wasn't an option. But other than that, God deals me the cards, and I just take them and run with them, and I don't think I'd change anything, because there's a rhyme and reason for everything. So
I agree with you. What would you like people to remember about Alan Flynn?
I would hope that they would just remember as a very good person that was good to people.
Well, I think you've accomplished that for sure. Congratulations once again.
Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that. Very honored.
Well deserved.
Thank you.